In this example, we are going to see how to create a sidebar which can be collapsed when we click on the sidebar. So let's get started. So first of all, we will create a folder. So the folder name is Collapsible Sidebar, and I have created two files of index.html and style. So let's create the HTML doc and name it as Collapsible Sidebar. Next, we are going to give the style. So link CSS, it is linked to our style sheet, which is currently blank. And we are also going to use a lot of font awesome icons. So let's grab the style for font awesome as well. So copy this and paste after the style sheet, and we will remove last few lines of from the style sheet. So next we'll design the body section. So right now, if we look into this site, which I have already opened it, so we do not have anything here. So let's create the body. So the body will have the navbar and also the sidebar. So we'll start with the navbar first. So we'll create the nav with class of navbar, and in the navbar we have nav header, and in the nav header we have nav logo class, and here the logo is just a name or text with a logo, and then we have a toggle bar with a class of menu toggle, and here I'm using a symbol of ampersand hash 9776 for the toggle menu icon. And so this was the nav header section, and let's look how it is visible. So we can, if we refresh the page, we can see that both of them are visible. Next we'll have the nav link. So we'll create a div, another div with class of nav links, and this will have a link with href of home, and we'll name it as home. And similarly we'll have another 4 links, and one of them will be called as product, and then contact, and then about us. And similarly we can update the href. So these are the nav links, and after the nav link we will also have a profile icon on the right hand side. So we'll have a class of profile menu, and this profile menu will have an image, and the alt, let us name it as avatar, and I have selected a pixel image for the source. And after this I also have a button which says logout. So our screen now looks somewhat similar to this with the nav links and the image and also the logout button. So next we will write the sidebar. So this was the navbar section. So the entire thing was navbar, and then we will create the sidebar, and this sidebar will be a little bit have more links because we are going to create a toggling effect. So here in the sidebar we will have a class of sidebar, and under that we will first create a button. So we want to have a button which we want to toggle. So for that we will have a sidebar icon class div, and under that I will have an icon. So here the icon I'm using is font awesome icon, and font awesome icon FAS FA bars. This is the icon for the toggle. So this is a toggle created for the sidebar, And after the toggle creation, which is actually hosted inside a button. So this, instead of div, I will write it as button, update it as button. And after the button, we will create a UL class. So this UL class will have a class of sidebar links, and under the UL we'll create a lot of LIs, so repeatable LIs, and this LI will have a class of sidebar link. Each of the link will be called as LI, and under the LI we will have a link. So this link will actually hold the font or some icon, so similar to the icon that we already created. So let's copy this and we'll update it. So this is fa dash w, and then fa dash home. So I've already actually queried all the icons that I need for this project, so that's what I'm referring here. And also I will have another link wherein I will have a name for this link, and this will be home. So similarly, I will copy this link and I will create few more links, and we will rename the link name and as well as the icon for them. So the first one was home, and the next one we are going to name it as product, and this is also product, and then this is going to be invoice, and this will be billing, and this will be profile, and this will also be profile. Now we are going to change the icon. So in the first case it was FA, FAW, FA home. So we are going to make the second one as a wrench symbol. So WRENCH. The third will be user icon, FA user, and I have kept the same for home for the billing, and for the last one for the profile I'm using envelope symbol. And so this completes our sidebar and sidebar links. So next we'll create the content area, which is our main content. So here after this we'll have content, and under the content we'll create a class of content, and under the content we will have an h1 with a class of content heading, and we'll call it as main content heading. So the layout of this is very much similar to the sidebar that we had, fixed layout sidebar that we had created earlier in example 1, and that's the same code that I'm using here. So we will create a lorem of 50, and then another paragraph. We can copy the same paragraph and make it a bit more bigger and save it. So now the structure of the layout is completed, and now we will style this page. So let's first start with the body, and in the body, and before we start to do anything with the body, let's first resize the image that we have. So the image class is profile menu. Let's reduce the size of the profile menu, and we will give it as a width of 30 pixel and height of 30 pixel, and margin radius of border radius of 50%. So if we look at our website now and we refresh, so profile menu, div class profile dash menu, Yeah, so div class profile.menu have a class of div, but then we don't have any class under the image, so we'll have to refer to img element. And moment we do that, it has the size is compressed, and now we see that all our page looks somewhat similar to this, and now we need to style it one by one. So we'll first start with the body, and for the body, you know the drill, like we'll first give it a default margin and padding. So margin will be 0 and padding will be 0, and also we'll give a font family of uh, Arial, and also we'll give display as flex. Okay, and after we are done with the body, we will start styling the navbar. So this is the container of the navbar, so we'll say top of 0 and left of 0. We are starting exactly here at the top left. There is no space, no padding, and it has to extend to the full width of 100%, and also the position is fixed, and we are also giving a display of flex, and with that we are justifying all the content with a space between the three sections which navbar is holding, and also we'll align all the items to center, and we are going to give a background color of, say, light white in color, and a padding with 10 pixel and 20 pixel. So 10 pixel is top and bottom, and 20 pixel is left and right, and also a color of the text will be black, so we can just write it as black, and we want to also have a margin of 0 top and bottom and auto left and right. So this will be the uh, navbar, and if we refresh, we see that now it looks somewhat like this. So now we will style the nav header. So next we have nav header. So nav this header. So nav header holds both the logo and the toggle button. So we will display as flex. So the styling will be similar to this because it has two elements, so it will try to align those two elements. And after that we have nav logo, and this nav logo need to have a specific font size, so we will give a font size of, say, 20 pixel, and we also want to make it as bold, so we will say font weight of bold. And next we will style menu toggle, and this menu toggle is for the smaller screen, and here we will not display the menu toggle in the bigger screen, so we will say display as none for the bigger screen, but in the smaller screen we are going to display as block. And after the menu toggle, we are going to style the nav links. So nav links also, since there are 4 links, nav links, we are going to display as flex, and then we are going to justify content as space between, and we are going to align the items as center, and overflow will be hidden. Okay, so let's look at the refresh, and this is how now it is looking. Next we will style the navlinks A, which is dot navlinks and A link, and this A link will have a color of black, and text decoration none, there are no underlines, and we want certain margin toward the right as 10 pixel. So now this is how it looks. So after the nav links, we will have the profile menu. So profile menu, we already gave the width and height of 30 pixel for the image and a border radius of 50%. Now for the main profile menu, which is holding both the image and the button, we will uh, give the flex property. So we'll say display as flex and justify content as space between and align items center. And now we need to give some space for the logout button. Now the logout is a button, so we will give properties for button, and this button will have padding of 10 pixel top and bottom and 20 pixel left and right, and it will also have color of black, and the outline is none, and also the border property is none. We do not want to display any border, so we will give it as none. So if we go back and refresh, this is how it looks. And also the background, we see that there is slight color, so we want to make it as transparent so that it looks similar to the background of the nav bar. And after this we want to give border radius of 5 pixel, and also we want to show a cursor when we actually point toward it. So cursor will be pointer and some space on the right, so margin right as 20 pixel. So we are pretty much done with the style of the logo, as you see. And now we'll start styling the sidebar. So sidebar class is sidebar, and this sidebar is having all these icons. Now before we do the sidebar, let's also take care of the smaller screen. So for the smaller screen, we will use a media query and media screen and max width of 768 pixel. So there are some elements which we don't want to see when we are in the smaller screen. So say for example, nav logo is the one which we don't want to see, so we will say display as none. And then we also want to see the menu. We want to see the menu toggle, so we'll say display as block when we are in the smaller screen. And also nav links we don't want to see in the smaller screen, so we will say display as none. So let's inspect the screen and see how it behaves in the smaller screen size. So in the smaller screen size, you can see that we are seeing this nav links no longer are visible, and also the toggle button is visible, but the logo is not visible. But the moment we increase the screen size, those layouts are back and visible. So now we'll start styling the sidebar. So as you see that the sidebar is appearing in this way, and also the heading is hidden under the navbar. So let's style them. So starting with the sidebar. So in the sidebar, first we will give the sidebar position of fixed, and also we will give max width of 240 pixel, and it will occupy 100% of the 240 pixel width. And also the top will give around 83 pixel and height of 100%. And also background color, we'll go with the background color of say slightly dark background color, and we'll give a padding of say 20 pixel at the top, and we'll also use certain kind of hovering effect, but let's see how it looks. So this is how it looks, and this is the toggle button that we had created for the sidebar. These FAFA bars and rest of the link. So when we click on this button, it should actually hide the text and only show the icons. So let's see how we can replicate this behavior. So here we did for the sidebar. Now let's change the sidebar and the a links behavior. So we'll do sidebar and a, and for this sidebar and a, we will create the hovering property. But before we do the hovering property, we will style the other elements like sidebar icon and also these elements which we are seeing. So sidebar icon is the very first element in the sidebar. So let's write that class, and for this we will give font size of 20 pixel and height of 20 pixel and also color of white because our background is grayish dark gray, and background we want to make it as transparent so that this is how it looks. And then we want to have certain margin on the left, so say we want to make it as 20 pixel toward the left side. So now this is how it is aligned, and the font variant, let's make it as bold. Alright, so that was for the sidebar icon, and for the sidebar links, dash links, we want to give the list style type as none so that there are no underlines and there are no dots. So all the dots are gone when we give the list style. And also we want to give certain padding, so we'll give the padding of 20 pixel and we will display it as flex, and we'll give the flex direction of column. And now if we look, it displays similar to this. Now we will style the sidebar links A, and this sidebar links A will display as block and will have a color of white, and the text decoration is none, and for the space between the element we will give margin bottom of around 10 pixel, and also we want to make it as cursor pointer and give certain padding on all the sides with padding 10 pixel and 20 pixel. So now we see that the sidebar looks similar to this. Now we need to make it as in single line. So for that we will go and style the li items. So sidebar link li, and here we will say list style as none, and sidebar link we will say display as flex, and the flex direction is row. So as you can see, now they are both in two columns because the first layout was column under sidebar links. We defined the flex direction as column, and then under the child element which is li, we are defining it as row. So now that's how it is appearing. So our toggle behavior will be based on these two elements. That's why they are separated into two of these A elements. So once that is done, we'll also do some more styling on this hovering effect of the sidebar. So for that, we'll go back to the sidebar and we'll add few more elements here. So for sidebar, we will add transform property and we'll say transform left 0.3 second is, and we also want to give z index of 100, and we want to make overflow as hidden, and so this is how it looks like. And now the sidebar hover effect. So for that we will create sidebar A on hover. We want to change the background color as green, and also we want to change the color of the text to white and certain border radius so that the border effect looks good. So that will be 5 pixel. And now if we hover on them, this is how it looks like. So the styling of the sidebar is now completed, and we will now quickly work on the content, main content. So let's style the content area, and this content will have height. I have taken as auto, and also the margin top as 100 pixel, and the margin left as 240 pixel, because I'm leaving that much of space on the left since it is a kind of fixed sidebar. So rather I can leave one more, so that is 250 pixel, and we are giving a padding of 10 pixel on the top and bottom and 20 pixel on the left and right. So this is our main content area. So if we see now, this is how it looks. And after the content, we will style the content heading. So content heading, it has a font size. So the font size I have taken as 24 pixel, and with a margin bottom, that's the space for the lower element. So I have taken it as 10 pixel, and also the font weight, I have taken it as bold, so this is how it looks. And for the p element, which is on the parent element parent element content, so this p element have line height of 1.25 rem, and also want to give some space for the bottom as 20 pixel. So we are done with the styling. Now for the space for the sidebar, we had given 83 pixel. If we give it as 55 pixel, so now it is exact height. So we have completed the styling part, and we see that it is working exactly how it is appearing on the smaller and the bigger screen. Now we will create the toggle effect, which when we click on this button, the text will be hidden and only icons will be visible. Now for the profile, we don't see the icon. Let me check. Envelope spelling was not correct, so that's why it was not appearing. Okay, so now the envelope is also visible. So let's add some JavaScript to our code. So for adding the JavaScript, we will write the script tag, and this script tag will be inside the body only. So we will write script, and under the script we will write the code. So this code will actually look for certain elements. So let's find those elements. So first is the sidebar, because the sidebar is a container of this. Then this is a sidebar icon class where we will actually perform a click action, and then we need the text, this list text. So if we say that these are the text which we actually need to show as well as a hide, and then write our logic based on this. So first we will start with the sidebar. So because we are going to select the parent element, and based on the parent element we are going to select the child element. So in JavaScript we use var sidebar, and sidebar equal to document dot query selector, and query selector we are looking for a class called sidebar. And once we have the parent element sidebar, then we will go for selecting the sidebar icon. So sidebar icon equal to document dot query selector, and here the element is dot sidebar dash icon. And just to make sure, our sidebar icon is actually sidebar icon only. So that is this element which we are seeing here. So now we have selected sidebar icon. Also, now we want the text, this text. So for that, we need to target the li and a tag, right? So li tag, and this li tag, we have not given any kind of classes. So since there are two a, so we need, it's good practice to give a class so that it will be easier to select them. So let's give some class. So here class will be, let's say we are giving a class of uh, list text. Okay, and the same class we can copy to the other elements as well. So here after this, each of the text on the second a element we are giving this class. So now it will be easier to select. So we will say that now we want to select the list element. So we'll say where list text equal to document dot query selector, and what is the class name? Dot list dot text. And we'll also say where is hidden equal to true. So that's our initial logic. Now what we'll do is, first we will go with adding of the event listener, and we'll perform the click operation. So the click operation on the will be performed on the icon. So this is icon where we'll click. So when we click, then something is supposed to happen, right? So first we will take this sidebar icon, and we'll add the event listener. So sidebar icon dot add event listener. So the event listener that we are doing in this case is a click event, and it is supposed to trigger a function, and this function is going to check for a is hidden element. So if is hidden is true, then it is supposed to do something, else it is supposed to do some other action. Okay, so if is hidden is true, then it is going to check, so it is going to show the element. So we will loop through all the elements. So we'll say where I equal to 0, I is less than list text dot length, and then I plus plus, and here we'll say list text of I dot style dot display as none. Okay, so if it is displayed, then it will not display, and similarly if the style is not displayed, then it will display. So we will, and also if it is displayed, if it is not displayed, we are also going to shrink the size of the sidebar. So we'll say sidebar dot style dot width, we are going to reduce the width, so that will be equal to 100 pixel. Now let's do the same for the other condition. So we'll copy this, and I will write it in the else block, and here similarly we'll iterate through all the link text. We'll check for the length, and here the style will be none or 0, and that's why we will remove everything which is in this, and there will be no style. And lastly we will say is hidden is equal to opposite of is hidden, kind of toggling function, right? Now let's see. if this actually works in action. So we are supposed to click on it, and it is supposed to hide the text, and if we click on it, then is hidden will again become false and the text will be visible. So that's a click action event that we have created with this by using the add event listener. So this is how you can create a static sidebar, or the layout in which we can make a sidebar collapsible by clicking on the toggle. So there's a bit of JavaScript involved, but very interesting to create such kind of layout. So that was all for this video, and I'll come again with the next one. Thank you.